Hi, I'm Susan Bruckelmans, and I'm a senior consultant with Benefactor Group. And I am here today with Jodi Bopp, who is a client and fellow traveler in the nonprofit sector.
My name is Jodi Bopp. I work at I Am Boundless, Boundless for short. We are Ohio's largest nonprofit provider of services to people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and behavioral health challenges. We're a statewide organization based in Worthington, Ohio, and I have the privilege of serving the people of Boundless as its vice president for advancement, which means philanthropy and volunteers. I've been around. I love the way you phrased fellow traveler in the not-for-profit space, such elegant prose. I like that very much. I have been a fellow traveler in the not-for-profit space for 20 plus years, all in the central Ohio region. And hopefully, as I like to say, I've learned a few things, made a few mistakes along the way, but I'm very proud of my career and proud to be a member of the not-for-profit tribe.
Our series is about uncommon leadership, and you've been leading at Boundless for some time. But tell me about your origin story. When did you realize that you are a leader? Was there a defining moment?
I am an oldest daughter, so I have a lot of the stereotypical traits of taking on leadership within a family. And so really just from a young age, I was encouraged to join clubs. And then as leadership positions became available or offered, to whom much is given, much is required. And so to say yes, and found that I enjoyed that opportunity. Again, maybe it's because I am the oldest child, and so I'm the leader of the three of us, and it just came naturally.
Can you tell me, are there qualities that for you define outstanding leadership?
What defines leadership? If you had asked me when I was in my 20s, I might have said something like, oh, these are the smartest people in the room who have all of the answers. And now that I am no longer in my 20s, I would say these are the people who can identify the strengths of others in the room and collectively come up with the smartest answer. And so I really think good leaders are folks who can bring people together and do something better than you could do on your own.
Yeah, absolutely. As you were talking, I was thinking what you're saying there is, a big piece of leadership is putting the right teams together.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that leads to one of my next questions, which is about the teams that you have built. I know you have worked in small shops and large organizations. So how do you make those decisions about, who's on your team? And when do you make that choice about empowering others to act versus being hands-on with your leadership?
Obviously, you start with skills and experience. And sometimes you can find skills but not experience, and that's a little bit more of a gamble. Does someone have drive, for example, curiosity, two things that I think are vitally important for especially a frontline fundraiser. I can teach someone, I can send someone to a conference, I can ask Benefactor to do some coaching and counseling if needed. What I can't teach is curiosity. What I can't teach is drive. And so I'm always looking for those kind of qualities in a candidate because I think those make the best team members regardless of the job. Now, in terms of when to step in and when to step out, again, my younger self would have probably been a little more step in because that's what a good leader does, is support and walk along the way. I now tell team members when they are hired, especially in this age of a lot of remote work, we're going to throw you into the deep end of a pool. Old school, teach you how to swim by throwing you into the deep end. I said, and your only job is to paddle. That doesn't mean you're always going to swim beautifully. You may feel like you're drowning. And then your only job is to say, hey, I feel like I'm drowning, and be communicative. Even if it feels like I don't know this person who's my boss very well. I don't know my teammates. But trust me, we are all swimming around you, and there are lots of floaty devices right at your fingertips. You just have to ask. but we're going to let you swim and find your own way, as opposed to dictating every hour of every day how you're going to spend your time. I don't like to be supervised that way. The people I wind up hiring don't like to be supervised that way. And of course, there are days when we all drown a little and don't have our best days. But by and large, I think being able to swim on your own feels better. And then you're swimming as part of a team.
That's great. I love that analogy, Jodi. That's awesome.
Yeah.
In addition to being a leader sort of in your own workplace, one of the things that I appreciate about you is your willingness to serve as a teacher and a mentor and a speaker. And you're very active in the sector. You're very generous with your time. What motivates you to serve in that particular way?
But every time I have tackled something that I've never tackled before, I have found those people who answered my call, took my questions, bought me coffee, and I really feel like to pay those folks back, it's my job to say yes as often as I can. But also self-centeredly, I almost always have some little nugget of creativity or just a different perspective when I have those meetings and gatherings. And even when I'm doing training, often someone will come up to me after the training, ask a follow-up question, and again, it's just a bit of a light bulb moment for me. So I hope I'm giving something to someone when I give of my time, but I certainly get a lot back as well.
I love that. That's great. Well, that leads to my next question, which is about how you look after yourself. You're a leader that can be demanding. I know how much you give of your time. So how do you balance life and work while also supporting your team and your mission?
So this one's a little tricky for me. How do I balance life and work? Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. As I have gotten older and more veteran, I have gotten better about this. I still love my work. My work is really the most important thing to me most days. All of our donors, they're just amazing people. My life is enriched because of them. Having said all that, it can lead to overwork, workaholism, and burnout, and I have made all of the mistakes there. So I have learned to turn it off. I'm very blessed to have a wealth of wonderful friends and plenty of things to do. I have started spending more of my time volunteering for other organizations, getting out of my daily not-for-profit bubble, but by spending time with other not-for-profits as either a volunteer or board member, which has been wonderful. I think especially as you become a senior leader, it's really incumbent upon, setting that tone, setting that environment and that culture. And I'm very fortunate to work in a place where the senior leadership absolutely does that. So it's my job to follow their lead.